What's up, guys? Today we will be watching the matchup between 100 Thieves and Sentinels, the tournament matchup for Season 1 of Marvel Rivals. In Season 0, these same two teams, with the exception of Kaluge, paired off in the matchup between Nightmare and Mutants. These two teams have been kind of competing pretty heavily a lot lately, so we'll see how they do. So the first ban is Loki. Which is Harvey's favorite character. He's the #1 Loki. So that is an interesting ban there. Then they banned Wolverine to counter the tank meta. Which I believe they have been running 3 tanks for the most part during this tournament. So getting rid of Wolverine really helps them, and locking in Magneto is a big help. What is they gonna pick? They're gonna lock in Groot. Okay. That's Vinny's thing. Vinny loves Groot. That's his main. What is the last lock going to be here? They're going to ban Adam Warlock. Okay, so an Adam Warlock and a Loki ban to ban some healers to try to dissuade them from going with a triple tank team that they like to run here. And they banned Bucky and Wolverine, which are good counters for tanks. So that was a good ban there. Interesting to see Hogs going with Groot here, as Hogs is typically a Hulk main, so we'll see how he does on Groot. And Super Gomez is running Magneto, and then Kaluge is running Doctor Strange for the triple tanks, and for the supports they're running Invisible Man and Rocket at the moment, with Rymazing clearing it out with the only DPS as Hela. Battling it out with Delana, they had a match in the last tournament. They had a Moon Knight battle, and I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, Rymazing outperformed Delana. So we'll see how that head-to-head matchup goes here today. And then for the 100 Thieves, we have Harvey and SJP running Invisible Woman and Rocket as well. Interesting. I don't see a whole lot of Rocket here, but SJP typically runs Luna, so I'm kind of surprised he did not run that. The Adam Warlock main also kind of counters Kurova. Kurova typically runs Adam Warlock, so that's kind of an interesting ban there, as Sentinels are not playing their normal characters. Rymazing typically runs Moon Knight. Hogs typically runs Hogs. Kurova typically runs Adam Warlock. So I think with the exception, and Super Gomez usually runs Star-Lord, so with the exception of Kaluge, who's playing Doctor Strange, nobody on Sentinels is running their main character, so this will be interesting to see. It looks like, SGP swapped over to Luna here, so they're running a Luna. They have a Strange Portal coming in from Kaluge. See how that plays out here. But right on the point, they are currently trying to get some picks off here. Rymazing slips down in here, getting some early damage off, trying to hit some early headshots. Delana is sneaking out to take out Rymazing. That was an interesting play. That was a really good play, actually. Now they're down their only DPS, so that should give them an advantage here in this battle, as they now have to rely on tanks to do the DPSing. Vinny is doing his thing over here with Groot, walling them off, getting some damage off, picking them off, while the Sentinels have to back off as Rymazing was dead. Kaluge and Super Gomez using their barriers and shields to try to keep everyone alive here. Getting some good pick-off damage here, but 100 Thieves is holding the advantage right now. And Rymazing getting some nice damage off. Oh, Rymazing going for Delana there. An Invisible Woman ult. There goes Venny. Venny goes down. TTK goes down. SJP goes down. And it looks like Sentinels might take over the point here. Super Gomez looking for a sneak around the back line there. Delana gets a nice little shot off, but doesn't hit that, unfortunately. Groot ult is incoming here. A Groot ult with a Magneto ult, that could be dangerous. How do they use it? They also have a Groot Magneto ult, so both teams are using a Groot Magneto ult. Let's see how they time it. Terra uses her ult with Star-Lord, but a Luna ult counters that, so I kind of loots that. Delana goes down. Not sure how she went down there. I didn't see that. Lots of action going on here. Amazing, getting lots of picks here. Oh, Delana hitting them from the back. She snuck around the backside again. Magneto did not use his ult there, but Groot did. So Venny used his ult as Groot. But no other ults were really used there except for Terra's. It looked like it didn't go as planned here. They're kind of trying to push into the point here. It's not going well at all. The walls from behind have trapped him kind of in the point there. Let's see. Oh, there goes SJP's ult with Luna. And then an Invisible Woman ult there. To counter, looks like. This ult is not a very well placed ult. He can't get over here to the Luna over there. And then, both Delana and Ramazing are ulting here. Ramazing goes down. Doesn't get the picks that he really wanted there. Cooper Gomez trying to hold on here by himself, it looks like, mostly. Oh, he's going to ult here. He's going to try to get a pick. It does not work to his plan, and that Invisible Woman ult is going to save that team. Hogs doing good here with some walls. Try to sustain people to back off a little bit and give some space to Vinny, who is coming in and just wiping everybody. With Delana getting the finishes there. Looks like Terra swapped over to Magic off of Star-Lord here. And Aramori swapped over to Luna. I don't know how earlier that was, but I might have missed that swap a while ago. I think I did notice that because I did call it as all earlier. Delana getting some nice peek shots in there. A wall by Groot from Vinny. Doctor Strange ult is going to be probably incoming here. They're going to try to probably retake point, and I would imagine they're going to use a Groot Strange ult here soon, unless they are intending to save it for the next round. Delana goes down to Super Gomez. A Magneto ult is incoming, blocked by Magneto. A nice Groot ult there to trap them in that ult, for the damage ult, I believe, from Luna. Kaluge trying to stay alive here. It looks like Magic's trying to ult here to try to get some picks, it looked like, but did not have any success there. And it looks like Sentinels might take this round as TTK goes down, Delana is down, 100 Terra is down. I should just say Terra there. And then Harvey is trying to hold it with SJP, and that's not going to work. They need to push out here if they want to have a chance. It's tied at 99, so whoever kind of takes it right now has got it, and it looks like Sentinels will take the first round. A lot happening, and a lot happening fast. But I think the real big placement was the Hela ults were kind of lackluster that round. So we'll see if they do a little better this round, as both Ramazing and Delana's ults kind of get blocked by that pillar in the middle. So they were not able to get the value that they needed there. So hopefully their ults will get a little bit more value this second round here. Because Hela's ult is really, really good. The Groot ults were good, well timed, but did not seem to get the value that you would normally want to use it. You want to combo it typically with some damage to try to wipe out the enemy team, but the ults just did not fall well. The enemy support ults were really kind of killing those. So it looks like Delana swapped over to Namor. And Terra went back to Star-Lord. So we'll see how that plays out for them. And Hogs is on Rocket right now, but I imagine he's going to switch back over to a tank here. Yep, he switched back over to Groot there. Kind of surprised that Delana switched back over to Hela here. So Strange Portal. Oh, TTK did switch over to Strange here. Now we have strangers on both teams, so I imagine they're both portaling into each other. Delana trying to get some picks from the side, but she's about to get jumped, it looks like. Yep, Super Gomez is in on top of Delana there. Delana's able to get away. Kaluj holding off on point here, trying to take out Groot there. Oh, and a nice ult by Kaluj there. He got, about, 3 or 4 people right there? That was a good ult. Not able to really get anybody down. Oh my goodness, all of Sentinels goes down relatively quickly there. Rymazing trying to hold off with his ult and trying to get that Star-Lord, but was not able to get that pick, and he's going to end up going down here to Groot and Star-Lord. To Venny and Terra there. So 100 Thieves starting off strong to begin this round. Let's see if they can maintain it. They started off really well last round as well, so let's see if they can maintain this advantage. Elena is sneaking around, trying to get into a nice advantage point. Really good positioning here by Delana. Trying to camp the little corner there. Get some picks here. Is she going to use an ult in this corner, maybe? Nope, she's going to go and pick off Rymazing, lowering their DPS. Now really hurting their damage output, so now Sentinels has to back off. Venny putting a lot of pressure on them with TTK there. Looks like someone is... looks like Rymazing is back in it. So now they're pushing forward here with an Invisible Woman ult. Popped by Harvey. Or Kurova, I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, Kurova. Couldn't tell whose ult that was there. Aramori popping their ult, but goes down. Super Gomez goes down. Rymazing goes down, and Kurova goes down. The whole team is wiped. Hogs comes back with a respawn, but it looks like 100 Thieves may take this round. They're at 73% already, and that thing, and the point is taking quickly. So Sentinels need to get out there and take it. They have 0% this round, so they really need to be aggressive here if they want to take this point. Hogs trying to get out there with a Groot. Trying to beat Venny and Groot, but Venny mains Groot, and Venny is very, very good with Groot, so he's got his work cut out there for him. Venny with some nice wall placements, blocking off some healing support there. Very good. Oh, a nice ult by Venny there to get that Kurova in there, but it's not able to get that pick. He has to go back off. But Rymazing goes down, and Harvey is down here. So let's see how this plays out. It's a nice battle. Terra is looking some weak. Oh, and an ult by Invisible Woman there. Keeping the team alive. And Sentinels is battling hard to get that point, and I think that is Rymazing up there. No, that is Delana. There's Delana up there popping her ult, getting some nice damage off, picking off Hawks and Kaluj. But Terra goes down here. SJP trying to keep everybody alive there. Oh, ult by SJP. Oh, my fault. That is Aramori there. Holding the point there. They're doing their best. Dr. Strain portal here. Overtime is almost expired. They really have to push this point. They really have to be aggressive here if they want to even have a chance to take this point. But Kaluj is taking some heavy damage. Super Gomez goes down. Kaluj goes down. Hogs go down. And that is the round. 100 Thieves dominated that round from start to finish. Sentinels could just not do anything that round. Let's see how this last round plays out. Here. See if anybody swapped over here. It looks like everyone is playing the same characters this round, so no real swaps. We'll see how this goes for 100 Thieves. Most of their ults are expired except for Venny's, so they don't have a lot of advantage here. But it is Kurova with 39,000 healing. It is already, which is really, really good. But Venny with 22,000 damage dealt is really high for Groot. Groot is probably one of the better damaging tanks in the game. For him to be out damaging the Delana and Terra right now is quite surprising. So, but that is a good thing. That means he's doing well on the front lines there. A nice portal by TTK to drop from above. It does not look like Sentinels opted to use a portal there, so they might be saving it for a jump later on to try to push into the point here. But that is bad for them because now they are on the defensive here in the corner and trying to create some space here with some walls. Terra getting some nice picks here. Here they come, dropping down in there with their 3 tanks. Super Gomez and Hogs and Kaluj jumping in there, but Kaluj goes down. That is not ideal when you're pushing in there with the 3 tanks. Kaluj is down. Everyone else seems to be holding their own. Let's Kurova ulted there to keep the team alive. Terra is dead. TTK is dying quickly, but he's able to stay alive there. Oh, and SJP uses his ult to keep people alive, and here comes a Magneto ult. Oh, he did get SJP. I didn't think he was going to get that for a second there. I thought I was going to hang on. That is not good. They're down a healer here. Can they sustain it? Terra's using her ult. Getting some nice damage, but no real picks there other than Rymazing. And Super Gomez goes down. Hogs goes down. Kaluj goes down. Oh my goodness. They take that. The whole enemy team goes down relatively quickly. The Sentinels just dropping like flies there. Kurova runs away, trying to sustain herself here. See if they use a strange portal to try to drop down from above here. It does not look like they're going to use a drain portal here. I'm kind of surprised they're not using a strain portal. It's usually a pretty effective way to get on point. Maybe they're trying to save it for later. It does have a long cooldown, so it can be really bad if you need it and it's on cooldown. Trapping them in the corner there. TTK doing a really good job of keeping that shield up while he's getting that picks. And then an ult by TTK on both their supports, I believe. He does get the pick on Kurova and Aramori. They have no support. Hogs and Gomez goes down. Kaluj goes down. Rymazing running for his life here. He gets picked off. And they are down again. And 100 Thieves is just dominating this round. Venny and Delena both have their ults. Hogs, Kurova, and Aramori also have their ults. They're trying to push the point again here. Not getting a lot of vantage point here. Hogs looking for a good place to throw his ult down. And there goes. I believe he popped the ult there. No, he did not. It looked like it for a second there on my screen. Terra goes down. There's an Groot ult. And he gets overcame by a Luna ult there. Harvey goes down. Delena goes down. TTK is down. Venny's still holding on. SJP and Venny both go down. I believe SJP was ulting there, so that is kind of a surprise that they were able to overpower ult there, but a good ult counters can really make a difference when trying to kill Luna during her ult. Sentinels finally taking over the point for the first time this round. That was very close to going to 100 Thieves again. Super Gomez gets his ult charged up here. They're trying to pick. Terra comes around from the side. Magneto's ulting here. Rymazing trying to get some picks, but not really any good views. Oh, he does not quite get SJP there. Rymazing does end up going down. Hogs goes down, Kaluj goes down, and Gomez goes down in rapid succession there, and Aramori's down. All of Sentinels goes down here, and it looks like 100 Thieves is going to take this. And it looks like TTK is trying to portal the enemy off the base here. Oh, they portaled out a strain to prevent him from portaling. That was a really good move there. Well, 100 Thieves takes the first match here. 2-1. I did see, and this is a best out of 5. So let's see how this next round here goes. First to 3, best out of 5. This works. I believe in the last matchup, the Sentinels team was the one that ended up winning it as Mutants, I believe. Mutants ended up winning the last one. Jump of 52,000 healing by Kurova it's ridiculous here. And some insane healing with some insane damage by Venny with 31,000. My goodness, Delana with only 20,000. That is surprising that he's done that much more damage than Delana. May doing an excellent job of tanking and dishing out the damage here. Hawks trying to match him, but has not been able to keep up with the damage. Has done a good job of tanking, but not as good of a job as Vinny at dishing out the damage here. Rymazing has been doing a very good job, but he unfortunately was not getting enough damage thanks to being picked off by Delana a few times as she snuck around the backside to pick him off. Let's see what the next round is going to be. Match 2 is taken by 100 Thieves again. So here is match 3. Let's see who they ban. Another Loki ban here. Are they going to go with the same bans as they did in round 1? No, they banned Groot. They're trying to ban Venny here and force Venny into a uncomfortable position here. And they keep the thing. And they chose to keep Wolverine. So that is it's interesting. I'm not sure who will play Wolverine this team. Maybe 100, maybe Tara. Tara might be the one that plays Wolverine here. And they banned Adam Warlock again. So they had the same bans they did in round 1. And let's see, who are they going to ban for their final ban here? Hela. Okay. Trying to push 100 Thieves off their game by banning Delana and Venny. So we'll see how that is going to affect the team-ups here. It looks like Delana might go with Namor, and Venny is looking at Venom here. Looks like most of Sentinels is picking the same as they did in the first round of the Rymazing and Hogs. Hogs had to switch to Thing due to group ban, and Rymazing is going to have to switch to Star-Lord as the looks of it. So Rymazing is going to Star-Lord, which is interesting because Super Gomez is the one that main Star-Lord. So it is surprising that Rymazing would play Star-Lord here. But let's see how that goes. SJP, we have SJP with Rocket, Harvey with Invisible Woman, Tara with Wolverine, and Delana as Namor, TTK, and Venny with their Vanguards as Venom and Magneto. SJP switches back over to Luna there. Not a surprise at all. Then we have Kaluge, Hogs, and Gomez tanking with Strange, Thing, and Magneto. Now, Thing can be very obnoxious with his ultimate, so let's see how they pair that. A Thing's ultimate with a Strange or Magneto ultimate would be interesting to see here. Tara looking to try to get a pick on one of the tanks here. Bidding her time. TTK trying to just get some damage off. Rymazing picks off Venny. Taking out Delana's squids there. Delana trying to get some nice picks. It looks like TTK got froze there. Nice win, Max. Hogs is looking pretty solid here at the Thing. Got lots of punches in here. Some squids by Delana to try to pick up some damage, and she takes out Aramori. And Kurova, both supports are down for Sentinels here. And that is not looking good. Super Gomez trying to run away, but is unable to get away from the combination of Wolverine and Namor, and he goes down. A strange portal from Kaluge to try to jump them before they get to that checkpoint here. They look like they barely got it. Popped an Invisible Woman ult there. Was trying to get some good damage off. Successful. Wolverine with Tara with her ult here. She used it, but I don't think she got a lot of value out of it. She did get down. Kaluge and Aramori are both down here. Super Gomez goes down. Rymazing goes down. Hogs goes down in quick succession. Kurova trying to run away, but unable to get away from the full team here. And 100 Thieves is just looking really, really strong right now. Delana getting some nice picks off using their Ice Squid combo. Vinny trying to play Groot here, but it looks like he's not. Looks like he's a little bit outside of his comfort zone. He's still doing a really good job as Groot, but it does look like he got outside of his comfort zone with that Groot ban. A Magneto alt there. I don't know if he actually got much value out of that. It does not look like he really got anybody. Ryan Mazing is running for his life here. He gets away by the skin of his teeth. Aramori and Kurova are down again. There goes Hogs and Ryan Mazing. Super Gomez is about to go down. Kaluja is trying to get away, and he is going to go down. And 100 Thieves takes the point with TTK down on respawn. And it looks like they're going to go ahead and push to the next checkpoint here. See if Sentinels can get over there before they take that last checkpoint. Ryan Mazing trying to get in there to get some damage off. Picking a little bit there. Hogs trying to charge in there. Aramori's popping her alt there to try to sustain that point. It looks like SJP popped his as well. Delana with their squids is going to town here. Wolverine jumping in there with his alt. Nice alt by Terra there. He's going to get a lot of value, and he gets Kaluj down. That is huge. Ryan Mazing goes about down, and Hogs goes down. The entire team actually went down again in quick succession. And 100 Thieves is just dominating this round. Excellent job by Terra. Picking off at least one of those tanks with each use of her alt. That is absolutely ideal. Let's see what Gomez does with his alt here. He does take down Terra. That is huge. Now they have some tank push here without the worry of Wolverine picking them off. Wolverine is absolutely obnoxious to tanks. Amazing getting some damage off. Not really getting much picks, unfortunately. Does look like he might get Delana. He does get Delana. And Terra's back in the fight here. And Venny's using one of his abilities. Oh, and Terra, Harvey, and Venna are all stunned by a thing alt. Gomez takes down Terra again. That is huge. Venny is frozen. Gomez trying to get some pick off, trying to finish Venny. He does get Venny down. And I believe, no, Terra just got respawned and she's trying to get out here quickly to give that needed support for a team here. They're trying to hold on. Venny looks like he swapped over to the Thing and swapped off of Venom here. Did look like he was struggling a little bit with Venom, but they still were managing to do well. Super Gomez hangs on. Aramori pops the alt there. SJP pops the counter alt. Magneto with an alt to try to take out. It does not look like he gets it, but Terra goes down to Hogs. Zelena is able to pick up Aramori. Venny takes down Super Gomez. Harvey takes down Kaluj, and Sentinels are looking like they're going down again here. Well, it looks like they were able to hold on. They're holding on. All right, they're surviving here. Elena goes down, and there. Terra is hanging on by a thread here. She does have her ult. I do expect to see her ult pop here against one of these Vanguards, but which one is she going to go for? My guess is probably either the Thing or Strange here. That'd be the most ideal, and it does go off on, I think he used it on Strange, on Kaluj here, but I'm not for sure. Amazing trying to get some pick off here with his ult. Not really getting a lot out of usage out of that ult. TTK has his ult. Is he going to use it here? I expect him to push in a little bit to try to get as much of this team as possible with his ult here. Oh, Gomez goes down. Kaluj goes down. Aramori goes down. Amazing goes down. Hogs goes down. The team just got wiped right here at the end, and that might do it. And I think that is going to do it, and it does. So let us see if Sentinels can recover. Did not look like they were putting up much of a fight against 100 Thieves this round. Both Sentinels and 100 Thieves already fought previously, and the Sentinels knocked the 100 Thieves into the lower bracket. And it looks like 100 Thieves is trying to exact their revenge here. So let's see if they can pull it off with the first two rounds as victories. And looking pretty strong here in this third round here. See if there are any character swaps. It does not look like they're going to do any character swaps. Looks like it's going to be pretty much the same teams. Yes. Everyone's saying, oh, Super Gomez looks like he's swapping over to Bucky here, potentially. They look like they swapped off of their 3 tanks that they've been running and swapped over to a 2-2-2, which is the most common team comps in the game. Delana getting some nice damage off there. Rymazing getting pushed heavily by Wolverine there. Kind of surprised that Wolverine went after Rymazing and not after a tank, which is what Wolverine really does effectively. Venny is back on Venom again. Terra goes down. That is not ideal with Venom. They do not have their tank counter here. And that might put them back, but it does look like they managed to hold off. Delana getting some nice picks, but her squids are just getting picked off really quickly. She's not able to use them that well. Rymazing looks like he's about to, yes, he does get the pick on SJP, and he gets the pick on Harvey. And he's trying to see if he can get off TTK here, but Super Gomez comes in and finishes off that TTK and gets the pick on Delana, and Venny goes down. And Sentinels is pushing forward quite quickly here. That swap to Bucky may have made the big difference there, and Rymazing had also swapped over to Namor. So it looks like it might be Namor countering Wolverine a little bit there. Benny trying to get a Rymazing here. TTK trying to hold the front line there. Terra goes down again. I think Namor is just countering too much, and Elena goes down. Rymazing also goes down. Both Namors out of the fight here. TTK giving a lot of space, but doing a very good job of staying alive. Super Gomez has it all. Let's see if he's going to use it here. Bucky's ult is very, very powerful if used correctly. So let's see how he uses it here. Oh, Terra did make the switch over to Bucky. I was kind of anticipating a switch off of Wolverine. It was not a good matchup against a Namor here. And with only 2 tanks instead of the 3, not getting as much value. Surprised Venny's and Harvey goes down and SCP goes down. Venny goes down and TTK goes down. Delana trying to run away potentially with Terra. And Sentinels are just chugging along here. But Terra does have her ult. Super Gomez did use his. Terra holding on to hers. Delana has hers, and SJP has hers. Bucky and Namor ult would be interesting to see in combo here. I don't know if I've ever actually seen those two with ults comboed. And Terra uses hers. Does not look like she gets a pick. And goes down with Delana. That is not good. They do not. 100 Thieves does not have any DPS in this fight. They have to do everything they can just to stay alive. Some more alts popping off here. SJP used his to keep the team alive. TTK is getting just eviscerated right there. Venny is frozen. He is looking like he might go down. SJP is back into a corner here. But it looks like he is holding on. Rymazing goes down. Hogs goes down. And that momentum might have just shifted there. Kalush goes down and Super Gomez goes down. Nice picks by Delana and Terra coming in here and just wiping the team. And that is a huge momentum shift. They have 2.5 minutes to push that point forward. They need to get all 3 checkpoints if they want to make this go into extra rounds here. Venny sitting off to the side, waiting for his moment. Hogs charging up some punches here. TTK getting some blocks in there. Rymazing trying to get some picks off on TTK. Unable to really do a whole lot there, but does get some damage on. Looks like Sentinels has most of their ults ready here, so I'm expecting some ults to start popping. And there goes Kurova. Super Gomez almost went down right there, but does get in the ult. TTK did use his ult, and it looks like Harvey might have used his as well. Looks like Aramori is using his halt here to try to save the team alive. TTK does go down. Magneto trying to all hero Kluge. Kluge does end up going down. Terra's going low. Delena's really low here. Terra do manage to get healed up there. Terra does get the pick on Aramori, and Super Gomez goes down. And then Terra gets picked off, but those were two big picks. Amazing is running for his life. Hogs goes down. Korova is running away here, trying to get some heals. They only have a minute left here to push this point. They really need to push this forward if they want to survive this round, or they're going to be down 3-0 to start this tournament off, and that is not a position you want to be in. Some nice damage there. Did not get the pick. I actually thought they got a kill there, but it does not look like they got that finish. Delena holding on to her ult here. Waiting for her time. Harvey holding on to his ult as well. Amazing and Korova also have their ults, so both Namors and both Invisible Woman's, and looks like Korova's taking some damage here. Harvey's going to pop his ult. The Korova's going to pop his ult. Looks like Amazing popped his ult as well. A lot of ults are going off here. And Delena just got 3 picks with the ult. Venny's going in to finish clean up here with the Terra. And I think 100 Thieves is going to go up 3-0 here, and that is just not a position you want to be in here for Sentinels. Down 3-0 does not look promising for them. They really need a major comeback here to stay in this tournament here. And it looks like Harvey got the MVP there. Always got to love that little costume there from our Invisible Woman. Korova doing a really good job of healing again, leading it with 43,000. And yeah, Venny did look like he was outside of his comfort zone with only 19,000 damage here as Venom. Not getting his normal damage there. And TTK being the high damage dealer here. SJP and Harvey with only 2 deaths apiece. That was very impressive here. That will do it. It does look like 100 Thieves does go on to win the 4th round and stake the sweep 4-0. And that is a very impressive comeback as they lost to Sentinels earlier in the tournament, and then kite the comeback to sweep the Sentinels in the final round here, and will take home the championship and the grand prize here in this tournament. And I think the big key factors of this tournament that really hurt the Sentinels was just the ults just weren't going in their favor. And if you notice a lot of times here that you would see Amazing pop ults and not get the value that he needed, and it just was without the value, the damage value that he was needing to get. And Delena definitely matching with Amazing, and definitely, in my opinion, definitely outplayed Amazing here, and that made a huge difference, especially early on when you're running 3 tanks and Amazing being the only DPS, not getting the damage that he needed in that first round. If you remember, go back, he looked like he was actually one of the lower damagers in that first round and did not get a lot of picks that you would expect in that ultimate early on in Hela, just blocked by that pillar, and he wasn't able to get the value that he needed. And then later on, you have Amazing and Delena both using Namor ults, and Delena gets 3 picks with her ult, and Amazing does not get the picks that he needed there. I do not believe he actually got any picks with his ult, and that made a huge difference there. You notice the second round and that last round here in the third round, uh, Sentinels were pushing forward very, very well until they stopped getting the value of their alts, and the switches by 100 Thieves to just kind of counter a little bit there. Benny making some changes here and there to try to get a little bit more value out of tanking here, as he was looking like he was a little outside of his comfort zone there as Venom, but still doing a very, very good job. I think that made a huge difference. I think the real big difference, and as is typical in Marvel Rivals, in high skill gameplay, it often comes down to alt usage. How much value do you get off of your alts, especially as a DPS? And not getting any kills with a DPS alt can vastly affect the outcome of a match. And Amazing was just seeming to kind of be lackluster with his value. It just didn't seem like he was getting the value he needed the majority of the time. And I think that made a huge impact of how this game played out, or how this whole round played out for Sentinels. And with that, guys, I thank you for watching, and I hope you guys will tune in for the next tournament.